Like most Western gamers, Nintendo, Sega, and PlayStation made up my early gaming experience. I didn't become aware of other, less popular systems until I got into playing retro games. One such system that caught my eye was that of the PC-FX. Exclusive to Japan, the PC-FX was the successor to the PC Engine and the final home console by Hudson Soft and NEC. After some research, it seems NEC made some interesting choices for this system. First off, the PC-FX was nowhere near as powerful as its competitors. Instead of 3D graphics, the PC-FX had decided to focus on 2D and the system's ability to play full motion videos, or FMVs. At that time, anime was also extremely popular and profitable. So, according to what I could find online, NEC made the pure business decision to not make PC Engine style action games. You know, the ones that had made its last system popular, and instead focused on anime style games and anime tie-ins, mostly featuring young ladies. This resulted in a system that was great at 2D, could play beautiful full motion videos, and had a wealth of anime visual novels, dating sims, and simulation type games. Unfortunately, the Sega Saturn and PlayStation also had the ability to play FMVs, but were able to make games with 3D visuals as well. Because of this lack of 3D and PC Engine style action games, the system soon died out. Over the years, the PC-FX has gained a bit of a bad rap, with many, including myself, believing it to have nothing but text-heavy adult games. Fortunately, there are groups of very passionate fans who are working hard to translate and bring attention to the unique games that it has to offer. Today, I'm talking about one such game. Hey there, this is Mega Blade J, and this is my review of Team Innocent: The Point of No Return. Team Innocent: The Point of No Return is a third-person survival horror/adventure game. It was made and published by Hudson Soft for the PC-FX in Japan on December of 1994. Hearing the game's description, you might think it's a Resident Evil clone, but it actually predates the PS1 classic by almost 2 years. From what I can tell, it takes its cues from an older survival horror game called Alone in the Dark. The game takes place in the far future. Space travel has become commonplace, and humanity has spread across the stars. Bioengineering was a major step for this, allowing humans to make plants and animals that could live on any planet, with one major taboo being that it is illegal to modify human genes. One day, a scientist is arrested by the Galactic Police for conducting illegal genetic experiments on humans. In their raid, they find 3 girls, Saki, Lilith, and Ariel. These girls are the results of the scientist's experiment and exhibit inhuman abilities and physical traits. 15 years later, the 3 girls have been trained to be agents for the Galactic Police. Using their special abilities, the team, known as Team Innocent, is sent out on missions too dangerous for regular humans. One day, they get a mission to investigate a satellite that's gone silent. Little do the girls know, this mission will force them to confront their past and decide their future. Overall, the story was pretty good. The story unfolds as you explore, listen to video discs, and find clues of the main mystery. Given the backstory, I came into this expecting the plot to be, dark, moody, bloody space drama. While there were a few dark moments, the bulk of the story was pretty lighthearted. The girls are entertaining to watch, with the Japanese voice acting really bringing out the personalities. Saki, being the main playable character, is more of our straight man and has the most varied reactions to events. Lilith is calm and to the point, with Ariel being energetic and needing to take her Ritalin. The three girls poke fun at each other, give hints, make jokes, comment on events, and they seem to forget they're in alien and zombie-infested areas and can die at any moment.
リリス、こいつ何者？
さあ、生命反応はないから死体じゃないの？あなたが会いたがっていた。
会いたくない。
ま、なんとか倒して先に進むのね。
倒すってしたよ。どうやって？
自分で考える。それくらいの頭はあるでしょ？
いい、元気？今のところはね。もうちょっと待ってね。機関室から強制的に開けるから。よろしく。ところでさき、ここの小さな通気口からは出られないの？どこをどうやったらこの20センチ四方の穴から出られるっていうのよ。
太ったんじゃないの？
ダイエットした方がいいわよ。くだらないこと言ってないで早くして。時間がないのよ。お任せお任せ。
There wasn't any major plot twists I couldn't see coming, but the story was an enjoyable ride to the very end. As far as gameplay, this is an old-school survival horror/adventure game through and through. The basic gameplay loop is exploring around until you find a key or item, solve some puzzles, get some story, and on occasion, fight some space monsters. There are even a few timed events to help spice things up. You play as Saki for the bulk of the adventure, with other girls offering hints and technical advice. Ariel gets a show-off for a stage, but she plays the same as Saki. Though there is combat, it's far and few between. When it does happen, Saki can shoot, kick, or punch the enemy. Fights aren't difficult, and I was able to kill most monsters by kicking them to death. This means the bulk of the game is spent exploring and clicking things to find key objects. This is made more tedious due to two reasons. The first being that it can be hard to tell what you can and cannot interact with, mainly due to objects blending in with the pre-rendered backgrounds. Second, in most games like this, a reaction only happens if you check something you can interact with. Here, an animation plays regardless if the checked object is interactable. This does slow down the game a bit, as without a guide, you'll have to check every inch of a room for key items. This game was made back before Analog 6 became the norm, so it does have tank controls. The left and right directional buttons will change the direction you're facing, with the forward and back controlling your movement. It's been a while since I played a game with tank controls. It took a bit of time, but eventually I did get used to them. The game is broken up into 3 stages or missions. They are large, have multiple floors to explore, and are full of secrets and puzzles to solve. I did get lost a few times in later stages, but each area has decent landmarks to help you find your way. Being an old school game, it has a scoring system. Every event you do, whether it's a major plot point, finding optional dialogue, or dying in specific ways, will add to the score. From what I could tell, it doesn't seem to affect the game or unlock any special endings. It's mostly for those who want to chase a high score or for completion's sake. If I'm wrong with that, please correct me in the comments below. As stated before, the G.C.P.O.SS was not designed for 3D. As such, this game uses 2D sprites for the characters on pre-rendered backgrounds. The backgrounds were impressive to look at. For a horror game, they were surprisingly bright and colorful, but were still able to sell that you were exploring an abandoned space station. I was not a fan of the character sprites, however. Their sprite scaling looked kind of janky and off to me. On the other hand, the voice acting and full motion video looks and sounds fantastic. It should. This is what the PCFX was made for. Every line of dialogue is fully voiced, and honestly, the whole thing made me feel like I was watching an interactive anime. Character portraits during dialogue are large, well detailed, and show off some nice animations. For major events, FMVs are used. They are bright, colorful, and have excellent music and animation. They help to flesh out the important story moments and are a nice treat to watch. For the time that this was released, I could definitely see why NEC thought this would be a major selling point for the PCFX. You can save at almost any time, except during major key events where you might die, and the game has a pretty good checkpoint system. This is a really good thing, as this is the kind of game where making a wrong choice can lead to an instant game over. The music is very sci-fi-ish and fits the game perfectly. There's a good mixture of ambient and chiptune music that helps create an isolating atmosphere as you explore these abandoned sites. There's even a few areas that are dead silent. These made me feel very uneasy and reminded me that this was a horror game. Now, I was using a guide and was able to beat the game in a little over 5.5 hours. But I can see this taking way longer to beat if you had to figure out the puzzles and where to go on your own. Team Innocent: The Point of No Return was only released in Japan, but there is an English translation available online. Once again, a big thank you to everyone involved in this translation. If you want to own a copy, the price online seems to range from about $60 to $100. Overall, I had an amazing time with Team Innocent. The game had great looking animations, fun gameplay, an interesting anime story, and lasted about 5.5 hours. If you're a fan of old school horror games like Resident Evil or Alone in the Dark, or want to check out what the PCFX has to offer, I highly recommend this game. I am very happy that I chose this as my first PCFX game. This game has changed my opinion of the PCFX. Not to mention, it reinvigorated my love of impossibly tight skin suits. Even though it does have a few raunchy games on it, I now know it offers more, and I'm looking forward to exploring its library. Hopefully, it does the same for others and gets more people interested in the system and translating more of its games into English. This has been Megablade J. If you enjoyed the review, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Let's Plays, reviews, and my poor attempts to entertain you all. Thanks for watching, and see you all next mission. Bye.